Welcome into the Kings recap show as the Kings pull out their sixth straight victory. It didn't look like it early on, but they are indeed lighting the beam for the sixth straight over the entire pull it out 113. Things actually got a little closer than they needed to get there at the end. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's retrace how we got there in the first place. Man, Oklahoma City just came out red hot in the first half. Kings found themselves in a 9-0 hole to start the game. Oklahoma City was just hitting threes, and Sacramento was not. And the Kings were also a little sloppy with the basketball in the first quarter. 4 turnovers they had there in the first quarter, and Oklahoma City was within 1 point, 33-32, after one quarter at the Golden One Center. Then in the second quarter, it got even sloppier, and the Kings were showing some frustration. Aaron Fox, technical, with about 8 minutes, just under 8 minutes left in the quarter. I did see some things I liked. Malik Monk was his shot still wasn't there, but he was creating. He had 3 assists. Keegan Murray, and we're going to talk a lot about Keegan Murray tonight. Welcome your comments on the YouTube page. We'll read some of those a little later in the recap show. You can also tweet me at Rami. That's Ramie. Is tweeting. Read some of your comments before we get out of here on the Kings recap show. Domas woke up after a pretty quiet first quarter, and you kind of knew he would because he's just been automatic more on Domas coming up in just a few minutes. 4 of 5 in that quarter with 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but he also turned the ball over 5 times in that quarter, which you never like to see. And in that first half as a whole, but especially the second quarter, Oklahoma City was just hot, man, and they had a 7-point lead after the first half, 66-59. They went 12 of 21 from threes there in the second quarter, while the Kings were pretty cold. They were just 4 of 19 on threes in the first half. And I said coming into this one to Nick on Cattles and Rami weekdays 3 to 6 on Sactown Sports 1140 or right here on the YouTube page, however you consume it. Please do and thank you. That this was a game that they should win. Oklahoma City is a sub 500 team, 22-23 now. After tonight, they haven't been great on the road. 14 away from Oklahoma City after tonight, but I didn't think it'd be an easy win. And quite frankly, I wouldn't have been surprised had Oklahoma City won this game tonight because of the way that the first half went. If the whole game went the way that the first half went, I wouldn't have been terribly surprised. The Kings are better, but this is a really talented young Oklahoma City team, starting with Gilgeous-Alexander, who led all scorers tonight with 37 points. They got Josh Giddey. Dort had a good night. Jalen Williams had a good night. They got a good young team that when they get hot, and they did there in the first half, like I said, 12 of 21 from threes there in the first half. Nick Cattles is texting me right now. He might be joining me on the show. My co-host from Cattles and Rami might be joining me on the show today as we broke the Cattles curse. We have broken the Cattles curse. I'm going to send him an invite to join the podcast. He's going to try to get to a quiet place before tonight. The Sacramento Kings were winless in games that Nick Cattles had attended. And tonight, that streak ended. We have broken the Cattles curse. We all gave him good luck charms heading into this one to try and break the curse, to give him a little bit of the Makloff magic and the Verlad voodoo and the JJ juju and the Simone sorcery. It's a whole thing on Cattles and Rami. And apparently it worked. And so Nick Cattles, I'm very happy, I would assume. Nick Cattles, he was legitimately nervous going into this one because we were thinking about banning him from Kings games if they lost another one there tonight. Actually, the last time he was there was when Domantas Sobonis broke his thumb. So things have gone really, really badly. When Nick Cattles has been there tonight, it's over. The Cattles curse is over. We've broken it as the Kings win. But I'll let you know if and when Nick is ready to join me here on the show. He officially has the invite, and hopefully will be joining us here shortly. But as I was saying, when Oklahoma City gets hot, that's a dangerous team, man. They're playing it at the broadcast on NBC Sports California after a slow start. That's a team that was, I think they said 16 and 11 since getting off to a slow start. They won 6 out of their last 7, and they can get hot. They can score points in bunches, which, quite honestly, was what made this game fun tonight. And comeback is always fun as well, which is exactly what the Kings did. And I thought that the turning point momentum-wise is what happened in the third quarter on a Keegan Murray over 2 Oklahoma City Thunder players. Golden One center erupts, and Keegan Murray actually kind of smiled after Domas put him in a headlock and gave him a few, good-hearted, friendly punches to the chest. And the Golden One center was on fire after that, and shots just started falling. On NBA Today on ESPN, they have a saying which is to make or miss, and often that is what it comes down to. It's pretty simple. Shots fall, you win, and when shots don't fall, you tend not to win, especially when shots are falling at the rate that they were for Oklahoma City in the first half. And they cooled off in the second half. They were just 2 of 9 there in the third quarter, and the Kings had the lead back in their hands, 91-88 after the third quarter. And then it was mostly Kings for most of the fourth. And it looked like they might pull away from this one on the backs of really strong performances from Keegan Murray and Domantas Sobonis. And again, more on those guys in just a second. But things get a little sloppy there at the end. And would it shock you, Kings fans, if I told you that things got a little weird with the referees there at the end? I know usually referees are very good and very fair to the Sacramento Kings, but things got weird with the referees there at the end. Some questionable calls. Mike Brown successfully challenged Powell, but it was still a foul against the Kings. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. So they didn't lose the timeout, but it was still a foul. And then, quite frankly, just some sloppiness there at the end gave the Thunder a chance to win this thing before De'Aaron Fox iced it with a layup at the end and made it a 2-score game. And the Kings win 118-113, as I said, on the backs of a career night from Keegan Murray, who had 29 points, 5 of 7 from three, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He was 10 of 12 from the field. Also, grabbed 14 rebounds. And I said after the 10 rebound performance on Kettles and Mommy weekdays, 3 to 6, Sactown Sports 140 right here on the YouTube channel. His 10 rebound performance a couple nights ago when Domas was out with the flu bug or whatever it was that was going around the Kings locker room. Sabonis not out there. I don't know how much stock to put in a 10 rebound performance because somebody's going to grab rebounds, and when Domas isn't out there hogging the ball up, well, maybe they fall into the hands of Keegan Murray. And you'll remember after the Lakers game when Keegan Murray had 0 rebounds, Mike Brown sort of challenged him. He said, I don't know how a guy that big and that athletic and that strong for his age has a 0 rebound game. You'd think he just won by accident. And since then, Keegan Murray has made it a point to crash the boards. 14 rebounds, 11 of those on the defensive end, 3 of those on the offensive side. And like I said, a career night for Keegan Murray, and also chipped in 25 points from De'Aaron Fox, 18, 13, and 14 for Domantas Sobonis, another triple double for that guy. But you almost come to expect those types of games from Sabonis and Fox. It's been sort of a rotating cast of third options for the Kings this year, and I've said all year that when that roulette wheel lands on Keegan Murray, and if he can sort of hang on to that role as the third option and take another step in his development, this is a much different and even more dangerous Sacramento Kings team. Mike Brown, I read a quote from him a couple of weeks ago that Greg Popovich, when he was part of his staff, would constantly say, you need 3 guys playing at an all-star level at their peak. Keegan Murray isn't there yet. He's a long way from his peak, you would hope, in his rookie year. But if he could take it to another level and give them even more solid third option than what Harrison Barnes has been at times this year, than what Kevin Herter has been at times this year, and what Malik Monk has been at times this year, and really solidifies himself as that guy. I think that this is an even more dangerous Kings team, and all those guys just go one rung down the ladder. Not to say that they're not still big contributors, but I think Keegan Murray is the guy that you really want to step into that role. Again, the Cattle's first ends. I'm waiting to hear from my co-host, and hopefully a live view of the Golden Center. Sometimes I can see it from my window here. Maybe I can give you a shot of it if I can see it here. But hoping to hear from Nick Cattles out at the game. I welcome your comments as always. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports. You can also tweet at me at Rami RAMIE is tweeting as the Kings win their sixth straight, 118 to 113. The final out there, Golden One Center. A couple things I always check after the Kings game was to areas of concern that you hope are improving, and even after a win, you want to make sure that things are getting better. And one of those is points in paint. And tonight they lost the points in the paint battle. It was pretty close all night. 50 points in the paint from Oklahoma City, 24 for the Kings tonight. Really, that wasn't what got them tonight, though. It was Oklahoma City being very hot at the 3-point line in the first half, and then just sloppiness and referees trying to take the game from the Kings there at the end. So I wasn't too upset with the points in the paint discrepancy in this game tonight. One thing I did not like was the turnovers, and most of that happened in the first half. But 15 turnovers for the Kings tonight. They were pretty sloppy with the basketball at times, and so a couple of those 15 happened in the last minute of the game when they gave Oklahoma City a chance to get back in this game. Really, that was my major beef in this game. If I was to nitpick their sixth straight win, it was a little too sloppy with the ball and giving Oklahoma City a few too many chances. But overall, like I said, not too. I wasn't too upset with the first half performance. I chalk that up to a very hot, very talented, young, and confident team, Oklahoma City. And when they get rolling, man. They get rolling. Kyle says, "Light the beam!" Three exclamation points. I don't have the power to, Kyle, but I'm assuming that they will soon if they haven't already. Tin says that he just commented Sacramento. Yeah, it's where we live. RH says we had to beat the refs tonight as well. Man, they are that was I don't even know what to say about the referees anymore. And I've always pushed back against referee conspiracy theories or the idea that referees have it out for or treat certain teams differently. But man, the Kings are treated differently. I've definitely noticed in my first year talking Kings basketball, this is real. This is real. And I'm not just saying that to like play it up to the hometown crowd or anything. I pushed back on it in my previous stop in Milwaukee. That was something people would say, and I always go, nah, and this is real. And they almost came and got the game from the Kings tonight. RH also says Keegan creeping up on Rookie of the Year. Yeah, man, we might have to start having that discussion pretty soon. We just might have to start having that discussion pretty soon. I like Regan as Coach Double A comment. That's you know what I really liked and was hoping would catch her. We were talking nicknames and things of the sort on Cows and Rami a few weeks back. Cows and Rami weekdays 3 to 6, Sactown Sports, and right here on our YouTube channel. City of Threes, because City of Trees. Uh, so City of Threes. Mr. Allred Everything says 3 ghost calls and 2 no calls. Almost lost them the game. Yeah, man. Yeah, I hate to make this about the refs after your sixth straight win, but The refs were pretty bad tonight, once again. I guess my Wi-Fi and, my sound is cutting out again from some of your comments on the YouTube page as well, which is okay because I was about to wrap it up anyways. I was hoping to hear from my co-host Nick Cattles, who finally saw himself a win at the Golden One Center tonight, as did you all. And they're lighting the beam for the sixth straight time, 118 to 113, the final. Kings over the Oklahoma City Thunder on a career night for Keegan Murray, 25 points, 14 rebounds for the rookie. Another triple double for Domas, 18, 14, and 13. And D Fox, 25 points, just doing defense once again. Thanks y'all for tuning in to the Kings recap show at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. We'll talk to you next time, and I'll talk to you on Monday. Show starting at 2. The premiere of Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. We'll talk to you then.